When the prospect of moving our operation from our initial location to the four-story building I showed you earlier fell through, the owner was kind of waffling on whether he wanted to sell or not. In the end, we were approached by a startup bakery on Main Street, Brattleboro, which is right overlooking the Connecticut River. Beautiful mountain range. It's just spectacular vistas, and not too far away from New York City and Boston. So, again, an ideal location. And she was going out of business, so she offered us to buy out her bakery and open Superfresh Organic Cafe. We couldn't fully do the entire equilibrium concept with Superfresh because the space was limited. It was only a 25 seat cafe, but this is just a headline talking about our potential transition. But this is where the restaurant is and has been ever since. And so, we jumped at the opportunity. Immediately knew that the community, once we were open at Equilibrium, started to find out about the super fresh component and the daily food that we were, making there. And I'll give my former partner all the credit in the world for developing the menu and the concepts around the food. And I crave it to this day. I miss it. But she's doing a great thing still, and there's a line out the door every day for the concepts that she's putting together and the holistic menu that she's crafted. And she's on, I think, her second or third cookbook at this time. But the arc of this happened really quickly. We got a small family loan. We were able to buy out the cafe or the bakery, excuse me, and convert it into Super Fresh Organic Cafe. So. We needed to do a community supported restaurant model. We had to bring people in from the community that were going to help us capitalize this restaurant so we could provide them with these foods. We had to immediately source the all of the basic product, the organic, non-GMO, chemical-free product from local organic farms. So we had to build a community around this restaurant really quick, both from the consumer side and the vendor side. And that's really what is part of the story and why it made this business and this model so successful. And it wouldn't surprise me if this doesn't grow and franchise. It's something that we talked about when we were in partnership together. So I want to linger here for a minute only because the arc of my story so far has kind of gone from young kid with a bit of a troubled youth to an opportunity to go to college, to falling back in love with the arts, to kind of doing a couple of things that really brought me into the world of the arts, culture, and community development. Then migrated over to this more environmentalism and transportation and land use and planning and city building, and then kind of crashing back down to the earth with the trip to Belize and back to the land and back to what's important in life. And waking up with the birds in the morning and cooking over a fire when we first moved to Vermont, and not having heat, and bathing in the river down the road, and just like what it all took. And it's one thing to launch a not-for-profit organization that has a board of directors and you can write for grants. It's another thing to be turned down by banks and traditional lenders on a great concept, and then finally have to turn to family and have them dig in their pockets to help you out and cross their fingers that they're not losing their investment. And yet see this now, how many years later, growing exponentially, diversifying, being written up, and getting all kinds of accolades. And it was named, I think, in year 3, the best new vegetarian restaurant in New England. And this is a 25 seat, tiny, 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 first come first serve open kitchen concept. So, as you can see, as I'm quickly scrolling through, feel free to pause at any point. But we had it all, and we had it all really quick because a lot of the things that we brought in, the talent on staff, the sourced food, and our farmers, the people that were wild crafting for us, going out getting mushrooms, getting ramps, fiddlehead, whatever, from the environment around us in season, to our clientele demanding certain things. we were able to kind of pull everything together in a way that served a niche in such a comprehensive way that there was no way that this community was going to let this restaurant, do anything but grow. So, I'll pause here quickly and sort of, wrap up the rest of my Brattleboro trip and my southern Vermont trip before I come full circle to Syracuse. But the aspect of both the culinary arts and what it takes to put together a beautiful, tasty, delectable menu that even meat eaters could eat vegan food and feel like they've eaten the best meal. Where we had a gratitude bowl, and the street kids and the train hoppers and the buskers could come in and get a wholesome meal for nothing, for a hug, for a penny, for some lint in their pocket. To building a staff from scratch, from just some scrappy kids who want to open up like a crazy new restaurant concept and not really care so much about all the feedback about it needing dairy or it needing to have like elements that meat eaters would like, or blah 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 blah, like sticking to our guns and just making something amazing happen. And the proof is in the pudding, and again and again, I think you get good minds and good hearts around a great concept, and it's bound to succeed.